Mayanko page ahana mu odeno page 23. Mechramu. This is the investigation report. Investigative report no my detail na me dwudwam afenyo marking. Obegina parliament so mo hwe Junsogu no ho on kanokre. I say NIB Jakpa. Or some pick it afenyo app. I'm pick it the big Mahama app. I'm pick it Keligajepo. They need to answer questions, Mr. Mahama. Now let's read this one. I'm in sure DB. Now when you read this page, this is what they basically the findings now mukuhu in any. The committee obtained the list of containers from the Director of Materials and Transport of ECG, the Director of Ports, and the manager responsible at the Meridian Port Services MPS terminal at the Tema Port. Inti investigators no ana committee no omukoye and omuko the Director of Material and Transport wo omukoje the list of containers are e Tema Port. And omusako the MPS omu ana omukipi containers no airport wo as containers are also a bit to abegino omoko also called list. That is what the committee and our investigative team know. Now look at what happened next. Now, the committee physically counted the containers and compared them to the list obtained and found various degrees of discrepancies. Say committee need a list every ECG transport ho. How many containers na more port? So you this amount. I'm so far less than my. And I'm call MPS for no. I'm hold the containers and say, you see ECG containers we have. Now you're saying more far less than my. I'm J less than me no. And I'm gonna call baby a container no. And I'm call kind container nina. And I'm say no. Bibi insi so. Bibi a shifty. A shifty. A dare not shifty. Almost a numbers not shifty. And see any. There are some discrepancies for PZ4. You can say discrepancies are not just say and shouldn't see any BB and shouldn't see any ye and shouldn't jina BB a yera wom just say I should have shifted. Yan you job na menchiro BB. Now, this is what they found. See below the results of the containers counted and the degrees of discrepancies. Almost say table when a bet show. Omoko kan container no ground no any list no mo ECG any list no MPS for port no omo nkyere mo omo hwe physically de mu hu ye. Now list of containers obtained omoko Ghana Port and Harbour no na list of the bomb here 1132 containers are ECG e ka kire omo se omo wo no ECG se omo wo 2464 inti ECG4 Oko port for so almost 1134 32 Oba containers are almost obtaining ECG4 so containers near 2462. Now containers accessed and counted by the committee. ECG4 can say dear containers say what port 2462 and a port for so dabi 1132. Now committee ni call ho na omwan kase ko kind physically no omo hu say ECG4 no containers a na ewo ha omo kase 2462 no na enye 2462 na 1134. Ghana Port and Harbour for eka say containers a sebio ewo mo ho no 1132 omo koduru na 1134. That means say omo de ne 2 per and fa so. Meaning say the port for no car no na no kura kutrodo two containers per NFA omuni so nanso ECG for there omo ka kire committee so oh ya were 2462 and a port wo committee ni kodru port wo no na 1134 meaning 1328 containers ayra eni ho physically eni ho. Do you understand? Omo je list every ECG was a container send a port. I'm saying containers are port 2462 and I'm saying thank you. And I'm call a shipping company or say ECG4 containers send and a ECG for a shipping company say oh I had the port at the ECG4 on paper the name say containers 1132 and I'm so good. Yani anka say be kind. Omo ko kan ye no omo hu say shipping company ni ka say 1300 1,132. In fact, omu 1,134. Meaning say shipping company no omu ni for 2 peso. Now omu checking ECG for now omu say omu containers in kwa ho 2,462 no. Omu ko hu say containers e wo na physical omu ko kind no na 1,134. Meaning ECG for short 1,328. The 1,328 containers na away. That is the question our investigators no ebusa. Now, yenwie mama chira wade bi. MPP afenyo marking. Unnim de ba. Now, point 3. Out of the list of 2,462 containers provided by ECG as a number of containers on UCL, a whopping 1,328 could not be accessed by the committee, while 34 were in transit and yet to arrive at the port, as at 31st January 2025, as indicated in the document provided by ECG. Now, neither Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority nor ECG could account for the 1,338 containers at the time of writing this report. I'm say, I'm busa port of one say na na ende I say ECG forecast say 1,134 na waha 2,000 334 na waha you do 8,000 port of one say ECG for numbers some dey amamo no mo boa ye busa ECG for say sa containers no wen sa containers na wen ye ngina ha now don't move ho enema NDC government led by the energy minister Eka said no, they are going to open investigations and follow the money, follow the containers. Na you start ehu saa nyoma we, you start chichi containers. Ye wie yo, ma mefa we nchira oni ento aso.
So that is what we have over there. So they are in the process of melting all this.
No, but the immediate thing is to stop every movement now.
And we are going this way.
No, we're
All right, so now, but I want everybody to have you. There are many, so we need to. Okay, so this is originally how all the containers came. And you can see how they are sealed in the wooden pellets. Some people manage to break the seals to these containers. Then they removed. So you see, about the first line, we have one, I can see 8. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other 8 or 9. Is it 8?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 8, 8, and then 8 coming all the way to.
Okay, fine. So some quantity have been taken from the top. And there will be only one over there. So this line is gone. And when you open all the containers, you see the same trend. So it means that it was cleverly done by the criminals behind these whole activities. So we just wanted you to have information about this. They are not yet taking the content, but they are cleverly taking some from the top line, top layer. Yes. So they take and they leave the last one over there. When we open the next container, you see the same thing over there. Yes. Yes. So
They were saying that they generally remove the
containers, no cables, no woman, any wiring, no. Omo ya no makonane. After your marking in the ECG. Omo nanea no mas aton. Na omo discano. Baby, I agree. you do the danger point. I feel I'm a crazy stuff I won't be there or reporting him. But also be a teacher I pick it. I feel I pick it. Na I feel na ever pick ye. Inti Frobia Casa Kevin tell us say or be pick ya dear no baby a we meso na yedu no. Maybe baby a we meso. The danger in what they have done. Friend people ni bia na just Kevin tell us say I pick it. Danger point in the yedu no.
It's can paluda I did not pick it. I pick it. Hey, I did not pick it. I pick it. Shaking my meal, I get it. Baby, I so swan, I pick it. Can paluda. This is for them. But I am gonna spend the money. Everybody. Come away from me. Come away from me. But I am gonna spend the money. For the papa. It's can paluda, I did not pick it. I pick it. Hey, I did not pick it. I pick it. Shaking my meal, I get it. Baby, I so swan, I pick it. Can palude. This is for them. But I am gonna spend the money. Everybody. Come away from me. Come away from me. But I am gonna spend the money. For the papa.
Oh, girls need to win, sir. Kevin. And you might also and you might there who to do any side ye. Also, and the moody I pick a palm ye. Yeah. The favorite I pick it also and your boss winning. That is how it is. Now, Minyan started scandal 2025. Minyan ye bibiao. Maybe I'm the best ceremono. Much young people for a one shamun yamo. And it's of 42 years. Very important. Also, and the above pick out to minsa. You have been dreamalized. You have dreamalized your body into ultimate sapro. Anka one para, anka they are picking shema, nanko be any aje, and obi a din. Mama yanko wagon him, Mr. P, Mr. S, stay with me. And a Friday. The medeba next week, utibati. The medeba next week, Mr. Mutu and Obu Ashkim no. The also a bearman offer counter document, bra. Now, head your call. Report in when I'm on. Now, let's move from here. Now, when you go to page 24 of the report, possible theft and auctions of ECG containers, page 24. 103 pages. My name is Tim Tina, so yeah. We are on video call, talking the whole night, reading every page. Do you know how this page got to this point? You think it's a joke? Now, Mami texted my wife and can't and say, I'm going to be late coming home. No, who said 7 up, my kids can have dinner. On shako, me text me. Me catch my wife say, and I mean be fientem because me yes can me dwanyo baby mu. Wife you tiase say, oni me dwuma no, say dwuma ne nyina ne ye wo ye bi, misum ye bi. Obama me response is here. Inti mo me amfa wom. Now. Okay, page 24. This is what is in there. The committee noted during discussions with staff of Mint Logistics Limited and Dawad Bond Limited, the issues of possible theft and auction of the containers owned by ECG. The committee noted during discussions with staff of Mint Logistics Limited and Dawad Bond Limited, the issue of possible theft and auction of the containers owned by ECG. 2. The committee further observed observed that the prolonged stay of the containers at the port exposes the contents of all forms of security risk, including theft and expiration, among others. 3. During the committee's visit to Tema Port to ascertain the actual number of containers, it was noted that a number of containers had been opened and some of the items removed. 4. Customs regulations allow the auctioning of uncleared goods listed under UCL after a specified period due to unpaid duties or abandoned shipment. 5. However, by convention, containers belonging to government agencies are not auctioned without notifying the agency involved. Page 24. Committee ni say, omuni eye Dawad company no, ene eye the mint company no ehia. Na omudi nkomo no mu say dabi, aye se koro no die bia bem. Answer se omode ma, ene sibi omu kyerɛkyerɛ nsɛm mu no, na bibi nsisi so. Na omu behu say, omu ye omu investigations omu kopie containers na aka no bi so no, omu hu say containers no kura no ye bie so. Ema nyoma na ewo mu no ye wie bi. Na de na etwa wo no say, omu nim say containers ye aban dia. Say sebio ye declare say ya mbekle kura na say demorage china. Until say sa aban company no enim hu bi say e wo say ye ton no, sa container no bibie nim a wo say ye yi ton. Nanso omu hu say even though ECG embeka bibia nkyere eye MPS for say your container ya demorage ache no abeye state property no munyi munyomanton no omu hu say nipa bi etumi akotwitwa container no eyiyi eye cables no ye ka over 2,000 no eyiyi cables no akotwedi. Remember, asama yeken it happened under Afenyo Markin as the board chair of ECG, Dubik Mahama as the MD of ECG, Kelly Gajepo as the board chair, a year after Nyobe replacing. So we are not joking here. Now, when you go down there, you see this. Number 6, it is worthy of mention that when the committee inquired from the director of materials and transport and the general manager inventory, they denied that fact that ECG's containers have ever been auctioned or stolen. Almost say, investigations no kubusa ECG department and say bo containers na ebi wo ha ye bibie so ye wi anwuma wo mu ya auction bi ebi ayira almost omo nim bibia omo nti bibia ko mo hu hwe omo ye mumu e na omo ni efra na omo aso esisi nti omo nim bibia and omo say okay yate omo the can report no ho. Number 7, however, the AG manager or the acting manager shipping admitted before the committee of the issue of stealing ECG containers at the port and provided documentations to confirm that he had informed the general manager inventory, but nothing or no action was taken in that regard. Acting managing director of shipping so no, say ampa on the question or kind of cray or say I do what the CNAC your containers no wia no mu wia omu twa ena omu wia nyoma wom ena omu twetwa bi ani ena omu auction ena dey true maka kire management class omu mfi me uja we don't problem. Hey, acting managing director or say hey masa me beto we no mehu se sanyoma we nyina koso maka kire management ni ade the board chair kura nim ni nyina meka omu se no lie nti misrem de menim na maka kire mo no Ghana for sikara mo kokra eye cables no omu wia ene de ye nyina me na mabeto so me acting MD. Now, oko page 25, bibi oho ehu rough. Demorage. Now, committee na omukoye investigations no omuhu bibi. Mami dudwe mu nkyiraw. The committee obtained a written letter or certificate regarding the total estimated demurrage as of 31st January 2025 from the Materials and Transport Directorate. According to the Directorate, the estimated demurrage is 1,040,370,787 Ghana cedis and 50 pesos. Committee ni so mkoye investigations no. Demurrage achi eye ECG containers. Egu eye port. Dubik Mahama. Afenyo Markin board chair. Omu ignore ye ema containers we a pilot ka 1 billion. But Omanya Sika, Edia cover 2 companies, Etiomoka 177 million, any Edian 23 million to just come and clear a year containers. The more ECG containers could do 1 billion, over 1 billion. After you're marking a board chair. He knows all this. He didn't say anything. After you're marking, he knows all these things. He knew. He was sitting in the board meeting. Mumusa Afenyomarkin said, did he know? Was he briefed by the MD that this is the cost or the debt we are incurring as ECG under your leadership as the board chair? Does he know? Jakpa, ask Afenyomarkin does he know? Did he know? Kwasia, original parliament here. Let's all come together and fight this. It is the service and it is the custom workers. No, it is him. He's a businessman and a politician, and he's doing this at the same time. Now, now, point 2, page 25, or say, the committee obtained and reviewed the register of the demurrage containers, that is, with its related contracts, as of 31st January 2025, totaling 909,508,400 Ghana cedis. The amount of demurrage reported here differs from the amount received from the Materials and Transport Directorate. Now, omuko eye company na container ni si obo no. Omu say a car ECG de ewo eye containers na begu port one na omu be yi no 900 million. But omu go ECG no, omu ko busa omu say na mo de ka sen wo port wo. Omu say de ka 1 billion. ECG for some de ka 1 billion. Nipa na ye de ka say ya be ye de ka 900 million. ECG for omu de ka no, omu so omu de ka 1 billion. Nipa na ye de omu ka no, omu say da be ye de omu ka 900 million. But ECG say it's still a 1 billion. This is Afenyomarkin. This is Afenyomarkin, board chair, and Dubik Mahama. This is their coordination. They are a very good pair. Now, who read 25 now? I say the committee compared the containers physically counted with those contained in the demurrage register to verify the authenticity of the demurrage claimed. Discrepancies were discovered herein. The total counted was less than what was obtained or contained in the register as reported under 421, and value of the demurrage of the containers counted totaled 432,500,800 Ghana cedis. In terms of me checks nankasano, containers pa aka was a ECG etua can 400 million pe. But so ECG wa they are giving you 1 billion. Now, and they are creating an impression say uko baby containers this is now 900 million. So the discrepancies are there. Right now, ECG account with Diankasa for the containers now port one. Because our calculation now, we are talking about over 2,000 containers, which is supposed to be at the port. But as we speak, 1,300 and something is out. The shippers are calculating what is actually at the port that they physically see and charge. But ECG in their office, they are calculating 3,000, which in physical terms or to see realistically, 1,500 no, it's 1,300 no. But ECG on paper, they are calculating a demurrage for over 2,000 containers. Into ECG on paper, technically they have bloated the number and making you think this all port wa the number of containers are calculated say demurrage of over 1 billion no, and then but to do port wa containers are physically so kaya 400,000 Ghana cedis. 400 million. It does not get to that amount. You see what they are doing? The ECG on their document, on their computer, on their system, the instructions now Dubik Mahama any Afenyomarkin say they should keep that number. Some number no ema omode confuse energy minister no. Because when the transition was being done, they gave the transition team Jinapomo a number that is on their system. Whilst they knew, say, when you go to the port, that is not the real number. It is a number now a what almost system, no, and then Abu Jinapo. Into Abu Jinapo could report one say, no, you gave me this number. But when I got to the port, it is even lower than the number. Then I need to open investigations, and then they have a PR. And it's that they were quick to come to market to say, and this is where we are container, because they knew that they had committed a crime. They knew that Afenyomarkin led that cartel. They knew that they had stolen from us. Into the moment the energy minister be investigations no, and then I'm fast because hey, and this is where we are containers because they knew after your marking on it the big Mahama and the Kaligajapono. This is what they did. And I just ended. Mama Chira be a dangerous chain we. Shade. Yan jumping ko page 46. Ubebuashi gigim. Me say Ubebuashi. Now let's go to page 46. Shade be oho. You'll be shocked. Now, key findings, procurement practices in ECG. I think I'll be who bibi. A best shock will be chow yum. Messia Nadri or Senka, a yet Jakpa or Kochi. I'm telling you, he needs to be arrested tonight. He was the board chair. A chair catcher said he does not know anything about what I'm talking about tonight. Now, Shadiesi. Now, procurement in excess of approved budget. I'm going to be procure now bro budget so. After your marking. Remember, MD, he will need the board approval before he can procure anything. So when it comes to procurement, the board is the final say. After your marking is the board chair. Now hear the after your marking, yeah. It was again noticed that every year, ECG heavily procured, thus overspent its approved budget with regards to procurement. The committee randomly selected the most recent years for review. The years under reviews were 2022, 2023, and 2024. Omo say procurement breaches be so crazy with ECG. Into committee no investigation case okay. You who say in kratana yehwemu from the board to the management bibi so crazy. Year in year out no omo ko procure and aso omo ko tonyama sika omo so omo ko to me balloon into omo pick random years. Omo pick the year 2022, the year 2023 and the year 2024. Omo person omo share ECG procurement. Say board no agree to the procurement and sika na omo ka say omo de ko tonyama no. And one omo de yeden omo de tonyama no. Do not forget to say Napo na energy minister. Sa time away nyina esi o. They always consult Napo. Memo review. I am review ho. Asama ye kan ye koba no. Sa two companies Napo nim hu bi o. Anytime I di amembo Napo di no because with the Napo asemi bebrebo. Remember, sa investigations we Napo na ye energy minister o. Sika Napo wi ye condensate kwa nkan ho asem $2 million. Okay. Condensate yiraye e to condensate Napo beka say $2 million worth condensate worth $2 million. Ewia bo no man na ne koy okay. Ene kwa dem nko ho. But remember, so I make a no Napo na energy minister. Now I'm going procurement breaches and inconsistencies and discrepancies in the constituencies on the consistencies, the inconsistencies. Please inform me here. Let's go to the procurement and see the discrepancies and the inconsistencies and how the consistency in the inconsistencies has made it so consistent that we know that there is some procurement breaches. Please what you say? Ninyane say procurement omobo krono yankoshe. Munya botena munya red no. Unim red. Now, I'm 25, 46. Now, these were the years they pick. Now, I'm pick value plan procurement 2022. This is what happened. And in 2022, not Dubik Mahama NADN, MD, not Kelly Gajapo, NADN, and board chair. 2020, I'm planning on procurement of 1.7 billion. 1.7 billion. No, 1.7 million, sorry. 1.7 million. 1.7 million. And I'm going to say, get me right. 1.7 billion. And I'm going to say, procurement. Now, the actual procurement in the year 2022 no na 460 million. Omuka say omu procurement of the nyomankwa 1.7 billion. In actual fact no 2022 no procurement no na 460 million. Now deviation from planned procurement, that means say Sa di omo yes omo beto ankasa omo nyanto sika ekechire na 1.3 billion. Ye busa se sa 1.3 billion no sa sika no deviation no sa sika be 74% no efa. Initially, omo ka so omo ye procurement of 1.7 billion. Omo ended up in 2022 doing a procurement of 460 million. Now, at the end of the day, no, that means say aka echire 1.317 million, a billion. Now, the question here is, where is that money? Where did the 1.3 billion go? Because I didn't excess a cage. So the investigators, Ebusa Napo, where the Ebusa Kaligajapo, any Dubik Mahama say, mo projected some 1.7 billion, but we use 460 million into 1.317 billion. No, where is that money? Now 2023, see value planned procurement years in 2023. Na 935 million. 935 million. In Kwanoma years somebody better to Tonyama ama ECG. 935 million Ghana cedis. Now look at this. Sika kasa almost spending here at the end of the day no. 8.3 billion. See. Omo ka say omo be procurement of 935 million Ghana cedis. But at the end of the day, no, 2023, almost spending 8.3 billion. 900 million to 8.3 billion. Into Yabusomo say that deviation from planned procurement, which is 7.3 billion, no, so 7.3 billion. What you see? And this was 2023. Omekacha said, oh, yeah, procurement of 935 million Ghana cedis. It is so steady. The rot actually started in 2023. Because you see, they projected 1.7 billion in 2022 and almost spending 460 million. Now, so by year 2023, almost can say almost be spending 935 million. At the end of the day, no, they had spent 8.3 billion. From 950 million, they ended up spending 8.3 billion. That means 7.3 billion aira. So investigators say, now you know, say, oh, 935 million. Now you end up spending 8.3 billion. How? So where is the 7.3 billion? Remember, sa time no, na Kelly Gajapo and a board chair, Dubik Mahama, not that we MD. Napo was there. So Busa say, so where did the money go? You are jumping from 900 million to 8 billion. Over 7 billion is gone. Where did the 7 billion go? The 2023 election year, they needed the money. Now you see. And about 2024, how do you see it? Omo project here, and I be omo can say omo plan say omo be procurement of 1.3 billion for ECG. They ended up spending 8.2 billion. Another 6.8 billion. Sikani kwa hin. Wait, na why na ye board chair? Eye afenyo marking. Why na eye MD Dubik Mahama. 2024. Omo plan say omo be procurement of 1.3 billion. They ended up spending 8 billion. Meaning another 6.8 billion. 2023, 7 billion. 2024, 6 billion. Okadi is saying 13 billion. Where is that money? When you put the other figures together, almost 14 billion Ghana cedis. Where did that money go? The investigations now move simple, son. This is what is in there. Into Mumbusa Afenyo Makin, as the board chair, Mumfred Kalikajopo, now Mumfred Dubik Mahama, Mumbusa Afenyo Makin say, you were the board chair in 2024. When they were going to do the procurement, they said we're going to spend 1.3 billion. What came up for them to spend 8 billion? As the board chair, you granted them that green light to go and spend 8 billion. What did you see for you as the board chair of ECG to allow this to happen? After your marking, all the money went to him. And Nuntina, they be original parliament. I am a businessman. I am a businessman. This is what he has been doing. And for now, there, he should come and tell us, as the board chair of ECG, how 14 billion disappeared. Because from the documents and from the report, you can see 2022 they procured less than whatever they have done. What they have actually planned to procure. Because in 2022, procured 1.7 billion, but they ended up procuring 460 million, meaning they saved money. What happened in 2023 and 2024? That in 2023-2024, you projected, and I said, plan is to procure 935 million. You end up procuring 8 billion, 935 million. It didn't go to 1.2 billion. It didn't go to 2.1 billion. It didn't go to 3 billion. It didn't go to 4. It didn't go to 5. It didn't go to 6. It didn't go to 7. It went to 8 billion. Oh, my man. What at all did you procure that estimated cost of 935 million jump all the way to 8 billion? Now, 2024, you say you were going to procure Nyoma for ECG 1.3 billion. It did not go to 1.4 billion. It did not go to 1.6 billion. It did not go to 2 billion. It did not go to 3 billion. It did not go to 4, 5, 6. It went to 8 billion. From 1.3 to 8 billion. You, Afenyomakin, you were the board chair. Without the board approval, Dubik Mahama cannot spend this money. Where did this money go? Now, you understand the job, my team, the job we do here. We are not joking. This is saving this nation, resetting the system. African can blow the money. At this point, and I drink a channel. Jakpa and the NIB. African needs to be picked up. He needs to be prosecuted. He needs to come and tell us how and what he saw for him to approve 8 billion instead of 1.39 billion. Where did the money go as the board chair? Afenyoma can see estates, 200 rooms, or see school, or your way, Ubusana, I'm a businessman. He's lying. A wo enemy sika no oria. Afenyoma cannot stand in parliament any day to discuss Ghana politics. Never. Now, Miriyo, Mami Chiro Bibi were reporting him. And Anke Wedi Asanke Bell there. She Bibi were a dangerous. I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman. You should come and tell us. He's the board chair. He was the board chair. Now, Uko page 48. Jakpa, listen. This is investigations reported in here. Now, excessive use of price quoting or quotation and single source for high-valued contracts. This is what they did in 2022, 2023, and 2024 when it comes to single source. In fact, contract and go through any competitive tendering. ECG a public asset. So ECG because of my contractor. Then also ECG also truck to newspaper. Ya pese ya koto pipe. Ya pese ya koto cables. Company amo abontini amo Ghana mo nim se munim adwuma. Momfa mu quotation bra na yenhwe. Wow, yeah, the amount. Under a Kaligajepo, under Afenyomakin, especially under Afenyomakin, there was nothing like that. They created their own companies and give them the job. In Afenyomakin, that parliament can say, I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman. I'm Obwa. Jimmy. That is how he's stealing from you people per the investigative report. I am basing all that I'm saying on the investigative report I am reading to you. Now, may I call them in Now, it was again noticed that ECG for the past 3 years, 2022, 2023, 2024, applied heavily single source procurement and request for quotation to almost all its procurement activities, including very high valued contracts. Though these are methods that the procurement law prescribes, the Act 663 as amended and the manual is instructive as to which activities these two methods should be used for. Single source is applied to terrains where specialty is skewed to very limited suppliers or only one supplier, whilst requests for quotation, that's RFQ, are mainly for low value procurement activities. Basically, don't find it out and say 2022, 2023, 2024. No, omu bie eye BB say omu person me contract bi, omu person me engage ya. They don't open up. But they know say emrane kire say all the contract bi a eson se bi osika do pempenso bi a, you are forced by the law to open competitive tendering because so we sana ema corruption aspect no utumi yifrim. But the moment then it means you have a plan. You have decided to give that contract or that huge money, that value to a specific company, which is bad because then it could be say some special interest with that company. Intina when be a competitive tendering. But say basically, so award the contract a small money. You can decide to make it a single source. But the moment the value is huge, the reason why you have to do a open tendering and say it clears that notion, it clears that possibility of corruption or of individuals who have interest in it to connive or sit behind the scenes with other people to take the contract. Into my investigations, somebody who say ECG from 2022, 2023, 2024 no single source contract nkwa yembie mo bia hu omo atumi de wadi tuma from nipa nam de ama no omo aso tumi ko be company no man kasa de ama omo ho eni tina afenyo market in parliament or say I am a businessman me say ohye eyi ho ko ohye eyi awo ho teshi one na utu me kire mo house no. Now share the second paragraph. John Mahama kasa Ghana is a crime scene and akwasi ebisu. Procurement best practices in conjunction with our procurement laws advise strongly the use of more appropriate methods which gives high return with regards to value for money. These methods are enshrined in our laws and includes the National Competitive Tendering, that's the NCT. Now, NCT is applied in circumstances where there are several suppliers or contractors who can deliver the activity. The method bringing to bear competition regarding quality, standards, cost, among others. Now, in the actual activities procured, ECG also use proprietary and board approvals. In the actual activities procured, ECG used proprietary and board approvals as a procurement method. These methods are not prescribed in the laws pertaining to public procurement. In the actual activities procured, ECG also used proprietary and board approvals. Also, my investigation who say the procurement na ebaso no ECG AUZ board nkwa and the yes adwuma no. In fact, what ECG did, especially under Afenyo market, and say, Adiana can also go through procurement, go through tendering. They straight ahead. Dubik Muhammad Deba border na Afenyo market assign. They used the board. They ignored the procurement office. They ignored the due process. They cut out the part that will stop the corruption. They basically ignored the procurement process. All that they did was that they picked the deals with their friends, and then Dubik will take it to Afenyo Markin at the board, and they will agree and sign. When they went there and saw the document, that is what they saw. Afenyo Markin paired this document is a hardened criminal. I'm a businessman. I am a businessman. From the day about politics, or the Mwedi, or who's a Mwedi into sorry, I'll say I am a businessman. Now, my mentor baby dangerous, no. Page 49. What was I doing? My mentor, no man of kind, ni table ni shadie. board approvals nkwa afenya marking hwe year single source in fact 2022 single source nkwa 33 tie hwe ne hwe hwade 2022 single source 33. Now over total number of contracts omoma 142 and proprietary the ones are the omugine mu edema no 9 RFK and 100. Now over 2023 a single source 512 2023 single source contract nko de maya and go through tendering yembie mama Ghana for nyina hu no 512. Total number of contracts omoma na is 703. Board approve 21. The 512 no afenyo marking board no omo approve Kaligajipo board no omo approve 21 of those contracts. Now Sauba afenyo marking tenure single source contract omo 425. It is against the law. Afenyo marking tena board no so and omo 425 single source contract. Single source. Yan can't robia omo na pick up company no de deal ni ma omo. Oba the number of contractor omo de ma ya and the afenyo marking omo 601 contract. 601. Now oba the board approve ye straight 7 manenko. And 7 no e ho na sikali jina. Into de bia wote na afenyo marking abegina TV so wo NCT a national competitive tendering into check 2022 NCT no na is 0 omo MBA competitive tendering bia ebia wo NCT wo ho uhu de mini NCT means national competitive tendering. RFQ means request for quotation. In the 2022 no single source na 33 national competitive tendering na 0 omo MBA amobia and oba RT and the owner is 0 RFQ, which is request for quotation 100 and I'm requesting for quotation. Proprietary no 9. Now over 2023 single source 512. Now RFQ, which is the request for quotation no 166. National competitive tendering ubecha 00 into uba ECG from 2022 to 2024. No competitive tendering. Everything is closed. Over 2024, after your marking time, single source 425, competitive tendering 0. They did not give anybody request for quotation 0. They don't open it up. They give it anything. Osha, Canada Japan to me ECG contract bebre. Because yembie mu poma hu companies no into sa contracts no the ma MPP for millions. Now my mention baby air who park say 739 Now hade bi wa ha orebe ho. Ohun sa ade we. The qualification of the procurement director. This is how they were able to manipulate the system. Oh, say no more procurement office or ECG. Some person procurement they need to make sure they have the right person there to see to the procurement. This is what they did. They strategically did some job, and that is how they were able to get their way by using only non-competitive tendering. That's how they were able to just get their own people to give them the contract. Because they had to put together a master plan. Master plan and I'm a better. Now, Shadia, when you now report more, we're page 57. I mean, you do more hand. Mr. S. Yeah. Somebody said Haptel, but my company, Haptel. They are also making money from ECG. We will talk about that. Now, you ready when you be It is expected that the director of procurement should possess the requisite skills, competence, and qualification in order to lead the directorate in the right direction. Listening to the current director of procurement it was evident that the then board of directors reassigned the current director of procurement, Mr. Samotegu, who was the then director, premises and estates, to a newly created directorate called Procurement, Premises and Estate Directorate in February 2023. This reassignment was done at a board meeting without any interview, as is expected of such a high-level position. Almost all call honom who bibi. Man we, your friend Mr. Tego, MPP pa man we. Your friend Mr. Tego. Now the go and say, Mr. Tego didn't come on say only idea be about procurement or a daft. In fact, position na occupy ewo ECG no na eye premises and estates. By 2023 no, Keligajapo, Dubik Mahamamo, they wanted to do something because they needed the money, but the way they could get the money said they had to cut out a procurement. Now, they cannot completely cut out procurement department. So they had to come put somebody who is dumb, who has no knowledge about procurement. Send a beya Dubik Mahama, Keligajapo, and Afenyoma Kimba, they could cut around him and do their job. Into this man, Samotegu, ono na omo de ne kwhye and you know the funny thing, omo merge Samotego no ministry and an department no, which is premises and estate, and omo de merge procurement. Do you know the one funny thing? The guy did not go for any interview. Keligajapo, Dubik Mahama at board meeting, they approved him. They did not consider anybody. They just lifted the guy from estate, premises and estate, all the way to procurement and omo merge office no. He did not go through anything. All that they did was that they took him there and they said, go to this office. We have merged the office. Technically, they put a dumb fool there because they knew, say, when they get a dumb idiot there, they can do what they want. So this guy did not go through any procedure. He did not go through any interview. They did not even open up for people to also apply. They just picked this guy from estate. From premises and estate, they merged premises and estate, the two departments, and gave it to this man. But said this man is daft. His main expertise, premises and estate. He has no knowledge about procurement. Into Dubik Mahamano, that boy made a lot of money using these people. Because Odim say Jimmy, he and Keligajapo, and it's not Dubik Mahamane Keligajapo. And almost resigning. You almost say why? Almost so many reasons. Yeah, they had used this guy and they have made billions. Now, when you read the second part of that page, 57, this is what you see. Let me take this idiot off. When you read the second paragraph, prior to this, the then director of procurement, Engineer Jacqueline Ofori-Atta, let me get you her picture. So this woman was the woman who was there before they ganged up and sacked her. Honestly, a friend of Ofori-Atta. Honestly, picture. The woman they sacked her no. Omo yi no and omo de eye estate guy never show her. This woman. So this was the woman who was actually occupying that position before they brought that idiot there. This woman. Sorry. This woman. She was the one who was in charge of procurement. Engineer Jacqueline Ofori-Atta. She was the one there. For some reason, she left. And then they brought this guy in. Let's read the rest. We understand the picture. Show. Wait the next show and send omode eye integu neighbor. Now, look at this. 57, it says a lot. Prior to this, the then director of procurement, Engineer Jacqueline Ofori-Atta, who had occupied that position for 5 years, was informed about the emergence of the two directorates at a board meeting and was reassigned to the engineering directorate. She is currently director of engineering at ECG. In Timami way, she was in charge of procurement for about 5 years. One day, I called board meeting and said, Madam, she said, you reassign, go and head another department. Man no hwe estate so no ye de na merge o department ye de merge estate into one na be head Into omo ye ku eno mo yi ni free ho. And ye Oforiata free ho and ye de Tegu Beshe ho at the board meeting ni announce chair and say they have merged the estate and procurement or no department no and omo yi ni free ho de ko share bibi foforo. Technical director and omo de Tegu Beshe ho and omo started into check here on 2022 they didn't do damage. 23, 24 because they needed to put somebody in there to do the damage. Hey, Dubik Mahama is not supposed to sleep at home tonight. Japa. Now, when you read the rest of the document, the final paragraphs. Prior to this, the then director of procurement, engineer Jacqueline Oforiata, who had occupied that position for 5 years, was informed about the mergers of the two directorates at the board meeting and was reassigned to engineering directorate. She is currently the director of engineering in ECG. Now, the committee noted it was during and after the period of the mergers of the procurement and premises and estate directorates that ECG's over procurement problems amplified and the containers started piling up at the port. Into investigators who say time and we were all the way to 2022 no. That was the time I know much me 5 million editor shipping accounting. The day now omuyi mami we free ho a omudi tego ebe show 2023 no. Ehona bibia started here. 5 million enko bium omuso muni sika bium. They cannot do what? Pay for the containers. But they kept giving contract for companies to be shipping containers. And then they brought this guy. And then that is when they started the procurement. So the Tego they brought, no, the Tego they put there, no, they knew say Tego was dumb. Because Omunim said Tego was not smart in that position. But the strategy was that put Tego there. The moment you put Tego there, technically there's no office. In Tomu Yimameno, who basically knew about procurement, and I'm going to share some redundant department, and I'm going to Tego Besho, a Hona procurement dealings in the start here, a Hona containers in the start to pile a port war. Because there was a plan. It was strategic. They knew what they were doing. Dubik Mahama, Keligajapo, they knew the plan. Afenyoma Kinsobeto plans he's a businessman, so he also joined the plan. That is why he never wrote a statement or he never complained about that plan he said was wrong. Because if you come and you see some corruption happening as a member of parliament and as a board chair, what do? You stop it. But what did he do? He sat and he joined because he knew there was money coming in. So Afenyoma is part of the deals. Now, okay, the final part of a 57. This is what it says. It was revealed that Mr. Samotego did not possess the needed qualification with regards to heading a high-level position as head of procurement per the curriculum vitae, that's the CV, he submitted to the committee. His qualification is sampled below. This is compared with the committee's recommendation on what the director of procurement should possess. When you read the whole report, the Papani CV, it comes nowhere close to a procurement boss. So the plan started from 2023. Omuyi maame nomde tegu besho and a damage. After marking Kasongo 99, when he actually entered a ECG as the board chair, what he first did was that he first looked at the issue and saw money. He saw red meat. He did not complain. He did not come out and say there's some corruption happening here. Afenyo Markin did not complain about the corruption happening at ECG. Afenyo Markin, at the end of the day, Mr. S, I don't want his CV. I don't even want to read his CV. Afenyo Markin joined the crime. And in the original parliament, Eka said, the crime that has been committed, we should forget about it and then let's do it. Let's not do it NDC, MPP. Let us all come together and make sure that custom for any system na enye juman yan work and fix the system. Afenyo Markin is 100,000% corrupt and guilty of a crime. That is why today in Parliament he was telling you, let us put everything aside. NDC should come together. MPP should come together. Let us make sure we solve ECG problems. The only way we can solve ECG problems is to make sure people like Afenyo Markin who stole from us are jailed. That is the only way people who are thinking of stealing from ECG will think twice and stay away. Until we jail Kelly Gajepo, we jail Dubik Mahama, jail Afenyomakin, the stealing and corruption happening at ECG will never stop. Because this should be the first deterrent. This should be the first caution. This to be the highest form of punishment to deter anybody using ECG to steal from us. So jailing Afenyomakin, jailing Dubik Mahama, jailing Kedigakepo is the first step to our freedom of saving ECG, our freedom of making sure the system works. Because if we get to know that Afenyomakin has been jailed, every young man in politics who is given a position to work at ECG will think twice. Because Kasongo is in jail, Dubik is in jail, Kajepo is in jail. It will send a shivering message through the spines of criminals in this nation. So this criminal, per the document that I have read, this Afenyomakin guy who oversaw or supervised all this corruption as the board chair of ECG is not supposed to stay at home tonight. Remember, Napo was the energy minister. Napo's best friend is Afenyomakin and Kennedy Japan. Napo he was overseeing all these things. He has prior knowledge and he understands where all these things are coming from. They have stolen cables, they have stolen transformers, they have sold things, they have melted a lot of things. Afenyomakin is not supposed to lead any group. Madmen in Ghana are not supposed to be led by Afenyomakin because he's despicably dirty. He does not have any principles and moral right to stand in our parliament to discuss the development of Ghana. Afenyomakin as the board chair of ECG is a disease to our politics and disease to Ghana as a nation. We need to come together and make sure Yachi Afenyomakin, he has answered question, he has been jailed to make sure that Ghana no ya set example being sida. President John Dramani Mahama, we did not put our lives on the line to bring you back to power for nothing. Majority of us on social media, myself, in Koto, Free Mind, Ransford Kebuachi, the good people of Ghana, some intelligent, honest bloggers who were honest in their deliberations, did not do this because you are a handsome man. They did not put everything on the line because they love you more than their mothers. We did this because we believed in your vision. We believed in your honesty. You need to make sure the right thing is done. Afenyomakin and all these criminals are supposed to face the law. He is not bigger than anybody. They are not bigger than anybody. The law needs to be applied irrespective of who you are, which positions you hold in this country. We need to set an example. We cannot let this slide. Mr. President, if you are going to start being my enemy, if you are going to start having issues with me, then it will be because of this case. I don't want to have issue with you, and I know you don't ever want to have issues with me, because the respect I have for you, the belief and trust that I have in you, that I decided to dedicate my platform to educate Ghanaians and to make sure you are cleaned of all allegations that were not true, to make sure we get an intelligent, honest Ghanaian to lead us. That is why we are here. We are not here because of family and friends. We are not here because our friends in politics. We are here to make sure we reset the system. I don't ever want to be your enemy, and I don't ever want you to be my enemy. I respect you, and with all due respect, the right thing needs to be done, or else your governance will never see the day of light. Afenyomakin, Kelly Gajepo, Dubik Mahama, they need to pay. We cannot let this slide. We are Ghanaians. We have done the work we have to do by voting for you. We still have the belief in your leadership. We still believe you can reset this nation with Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman. We are doing this because we love our nation. We are doing this because we want to reset this nation. We are doing this because we love Ghana. Do not turn us against you. Tomorrow, next week, heads needs to roll. The board chairs, they have to be called. The MD, he has to be called. The Attorney General's office should open investigations now. With all due respect, Mr. President, I keep telling you, I am a messenger without a Bible or a Quran. A messenger who came to deliver the message. We have gone through fire to get you here. And we are still going through fire to protect the leadership that you are showing, which is legitimate and respectful. Do not, and this goes to every single NDC person, from the top to the down. If anybody dares to try and cover up for anybody, you people will understand the power belongs to we on the ground. And this goes to every single person, from the president to the last person in Ghana. I have done my job. Ghanaians have done their job. They have sacrificed, they voted, They have lived to make sure you become president. We expect you to do the needful. Afenyomakin is guilty. Afenyomakin needs to go to jail. He needs to be investigated. And this is what we demand.